manufacturing intern at the main plant at Forest Park, but I was previously the manufacturing intern in Connecticut. And I'll be presenting my experience here with Clorox. At the agenda today, we'll take a look at a little bit of my background, some experiences and projects that I perform in Meriden, Connecticut, and then the same for the Forest Park main plant, and then some questions, acknowledgements, and takeaways for this experience. Well, I'm currently from Puerto Rico. I was born and raised there. I go to the Polytechnic University at Puerto Rico, and I'm an industrial engineering major in my senior year, hopefully graduating this next summer. And as an extracurricular activity, I'm the table tennis captain at the university. I've been playing this sport for more than 10 years, and I just love it. A little bit about my background. I was part a couple of years ago of the plasma laboratory team at the Polytechnic University. I was the only industrial engineer at this team, and we were like more than 20 students. This experience allowed me to expand my knowledge not only in engineering, but more in plasma and science. And this is the only laboratory in the whole Caribbean, so it was a great experience. Last summer, I was part of the Texas Tech University team. I performed a summer research there where I shared with people from different countries. There were some of the folks that were from France, so it was a great experience. Before this internship, I was part of the Intern Manufacturing Limited team. This company makes products for cancer patients, so it was a great experience contributing to this huge company, and I was part of the facilities and engineering team, and where I was in internship as well. And finally, I am part of the Management Leadership for Tomorrow program. That is a program that let the students be a leader. They just give us a lot of conferences and a lot of opportunities to be part of the leadership team in the future. So after Intern, I came to Clorox. I started this experience in Meriden, Connecticut. I started in June, and I reported to the student audit department. I was involved in the IM pillar team, engineering team, and the validation team. This plant, it was more about healthcare products. They made products for the hospitals and for healthcare. And the projects where I was involved in, it was the production floor update. I performed a focus improvement in scrap reduction. And it was as well my final engineering for the university. I'm doing it with Clorox. And office upgrade at the Meriden plant, and I work as well with chambers execution validation, working IQs and OQs. So I'll walk you through a little bit of those projects. The production floor update project at the production floor at Meriden, we had 21 machines. But FDA came to the plant and was saying that we weren't following the requirements as a healthcare company, and we need to make some changes to the whole production floor. So my main task was just make updates every time that we move a machine, because we were going to buy 3 new machines that it was going to do the same work that all the 21s. So in that case, we were going to get rid of almost all the machines. So that was like the main project. The second project that I performed is the scrap reduction project, where I was working in scrap. So this plant had a lot of scrap. In 6 months, was generating more than $500,000 only in scrap. So you can imagine, that money. And I performed an analysis to see which machine was causing the most greatest scrap in the production floor, and I took the machine 17 as my project in order to make improvement to it, and then repair and reapply in the other machines. So this machine was having like $50,000 in scrap, and it was because, as I told you, the others were going to get rid of at the production floor. We were going to keep only these machines. So we were trying to take improvements on it that would be long-term wise improved. In order to get familiar with the process, the machine just take the inserter and put it inside the web, then put some liquid on it, it seals the web, and just the packaging person inspects the product and just threw it into the case or threw it into the scrap case. So the problem here was that the operators were not really like attached to savings, if we can say it like that, or to scrap. They would just like see the product, they see the web, oh, it's good, and some of the good products were in the scrap box. So it seems like they were saying that some of the web was, causing a lot of problems. So 60% of all that scrap in that machine was restricted in web. So I performed a scrap audit in order to see and evaluate the data for that specific raw material. But I was as well working on other projects. This project was a really fun one because at the plant, it was a little plant. So what I was doing was leading a project of $35,000 budget, and we were going to increase the capacity at the offices by 42 by buying new chairs, new cubicles, and all that stuff. So the last project, I performed the scrap audit. This project was approved, but that didn't happen. Because as you know, Maryland, Connecticut applicant was sold by Clorox, so I had to move to another plant. So Clorox, I wasn't staying. So Clorox moved me to Georgia, here in the main plant, where I am currently reporting to Matt Benson, Tito Poe, and Bernard White, and I'm involved with the BULLS, that stands for the Business Unit Leaders, Losses Elimination Team, and the Production and Engineering Team. I'm basically everywhere. And this plant, in difference to the other plant, is more of home care products. So I've been able to see both sides of the manufacturing. So in this 3 months, I've been able to perform a constraints and identification in each packaging line. I as well moved my university project to the main plant in losses elimination, and I'm working a shift summary board. So I'll walk you a little bit to those projects in order for you to see what it means. So the bottleneck identification at the main plant, I don't know if you have have you been there? We have 8 packaging lines, 6 for home cares and 2 for laundry lines. So those lines are having a lot of downtime, but we don't know why. So my main task was go into the line and understand why we're having too many downtime. Because we can convert downtime to OEE instead of having downtime. And I just went to the line and talked with the operators and pull out some LEDs data where I was able to track the downtime per packaging line and understand where we were having that downtime. So I did that and then understood as well in the manufacturing process how the operator solves those problems. And I just perform a spreadsheet in Excel and try to identify, hey, this is the problem, and if we drive this result, we can improve this many cases per hour at the packaging line. So basically, this is an example of the spreadsheet that I performed. This is for one of the lines, and just put the products and the case size. I divided it by case size. At Intern, we do, at the main plant, we do different bottle sizes. So basically, that's what I did. Here, for example, we have the 848 at the packaging line. So I just divided it and say like, hey, for the 848, this is the issues. This is what we need to drive in order to improve this many cases at the packaging line. And this is like the final result. I made some statistical analysis and say like, hey, if we drive that, this is how many cases we can do. This project, I give it to each bull. That's why I was working with the bulls. I give it to each bull, and they're working on it in order to implement it, in order to drive and increase those cases per hour. And almost finally, another project that I've been working on is the losses elimination project. Lavender, from the first quarter of 2018, we're having around $95,000 now in losses. So Maryland was scrap, this is losses, both different. So basically, in order to understand why we were having losses, I did some parameters trying to identify, hey, where are the losses? So almost 68% of those losses were specifically on lavender. And it was on lavender because this is a really expensive product. In order to, if we are losing it, that's a huge problem because it's very expensive. So that's me at the line with lavender. So in order to understand why lavender was causing too many problems, the team performed a fishbone analysis. So I went through each one of those and tried to understand, hey, where are the losses? It might be in the tanks, it might be at the flow meters accuracy, it might be at the machines that production is overfilling the bottles maybe. And the team came that production is overfilling the bottles. But if you can see like this, at the production floor, we run more than 30,000 bottles. So if we put at least half an ounce in each bottle, and you see like, 30,000 bottles, that's a lot. We can convert those ounces to pounds and those pounds to money. So basically that was the problem, and The main reason why is because production wants to be sure they put the amount required in the bottle, not less, well, not more, but if not more, they just don't get, their problem. But if we put less than they require, that's a big issue for Clorox. That's a federal problem. So they just want to be sure. So here's a video of the filler running lavender. So in order to understand why production was putting more than they require, I just did analysis in the filler. So basically this is in the line HC3. This unit is composed of 34 nozzles, so it's capable of filling 24 bottles at the same time. And it's capable of running 280 bottles per minute. So I went specific to the nozzle and understand, hey, why we're having too many losses. And this spacer is responsible to indicate, hey, this is the amount of product that we need to put. Okay, I just put it. So the spacer is the one that is responsible for it. So here we have a 60-ounce spacer, and I don't know if you're able to see it. Here's like 60.5, and this is a 57 bottle, and this is 61. So if we put 3 or 4 ounces more, we're having losses. So currently I'm working on recommendations on changing those spacers for the bottles in order to drive that problem. And finally, at each production line, we have a daily recap sheet where the operators per shift go and say like, hey, we're good on safety, we're good on quality, but that's per shift. So they were complaining on that, and this project came on by like a month ago. So I came with the idea of putting a board instead of the paper, and the operator just needs to update it. So if I'm in the day shift, I can say like, hey, we don't have any near miss, we're okay. And you come in the night shift and we're still okay, so you don't need to fill it out again. We're still okay. So that's not a big deal for them. And this is the working process for this project. We are testing in 3 lines in order to then take some improvements and implement the final idea of it. So some takeaways: that safety first, in manufacturing always be safe. Teamwork is a really important theme, and the communication between teams, quality, always the daily meeting that we have in order to say like, hey, we're good on quality, we're good on safety. That communication is very important. So thank you to everyone that helped me during this fun experience where I just move around and been able to interact with too many people and different processes. So thank you very much.